Hey friends, it's Icy. It's me. I'm back. I need this glass of wine today because it was a long week. So yeah, bear with me while I cook, and let's get into this video. So I first want to say shout out to my friend Tonya. She gave me this recipe, I want to say during the pandemic. And I know I don't make it like her because I am not authentically Spanish. However, her family is. However, this is the recipe she gave me, and I kind of like made it my own. Try my best the way she told me to do it, but you know it's gonna be different every time somebody else makes it. So yes, this is Spanish style stewed chicken, and it's my absolute favorite way to make it. It's so bomb. So first things first, we're going to take a green bell pepper, and I'm just slicing them up, and then I'm going to dice them up to give me medium-sized cubes. Although I cut the whole bell pepper, I did not use the whole bell pepper. I'm using about 10 chicken thighs, bone and chicken thighs. So I used all the bell pepper except for those 2 pieces you see I put at the end of my cutting board. So this is about a medium-sized onion, and I actually used this whole onion. I cut the whole onion, and I'm going to use about 1.5 of the onion for my chicken, and then I'm going to use some of the other onion that I diced for my rice that you'll see later on in the video. Here you see me cutting the onion in half, and then cutting the side that's not the bulb, chopping that end off, and then peeling back the first layer of the onion. Now how I dice it is typically how when people dice it. So they slice, I do about 3 from front to back, and then I slice downward. So from the one end of the onion to the other end of the onion, and then I take it and turn it back around and chop it down. You get nice diced pieces doing it this way. I like it. And I'm not wasting no part of the onion. I'm getting those sides and chopping it up too. I need it all. Here I am just repeating the process and getting this other half of the onion sliced and diced. As you guys can tell, I practice what I preach, safety first. I place my hand firmly down on the onion, and my fingers are slightly towards the ceiling so that they're away from the knife. And then I slice through because that can be really dangerous. We don't want that over here, okay? So, her recipe calls for cilantro, but I'm one of those people that can actually smell the soapy smell in cilantro. So I eat it, but I prefer not to eat it or cook when I don't have to. So most of the time, I will substitute cilantro for parsley. Not the same thing, not the same taste or anything like that. But for me, I can substitute it. Some people can't. I can. I can smell it, and I'm just like, no, thank you. So here I am, just taking the leaves from the parsley off the stems, and then just chopping it, and I'm going to place it to the side and use it a little later. When I tell y'all that I go through paper towels like there's nobody's business, I go through paper towel like it's nobody's business. And this is one of the reasons why. Yes, I am cleaning my chicken right now, and this is how I dry them. So I lay a couple leaves down on my cutting board, clean my chicken with vinegar, cold water, some lemon, let it soak, wash it off, cut off all the excess, and then I place them on some paper towels to dry. This is what I'm doing here. And then what I do after this, also to this, I take about 2 more rolls of paper towels and roll it on top, and then I just press down, patting them dry. I do this to all my food, so yeah, paper towels go pretty quick in this house, and I'm not proud of it at all. And then of course they're not all the way dry, so I have to pick up each individual chicken and take a paper towel and pat both sides dry as well. Now that all our meat is cleaned, we can now start seasoning. So this is where I change the recipe a bit for myself because I like certain seasonings. So I add salt, pepper, garlic powder, sazon. Come on, I'm making Spanish style stewed chicken. Sazon is a must. So sazon, and lots of it. I also did some adobo, of course. And I feel like I always put a tea on this previously, but I love adding Italian seasoning to all my chicken dishes now. For some reason, that herb, even though it's dry, really does something for me when I'm cooking chicken. So here I am adding in some Italian seasoning. And now I'm just going in with some paprika, smoked paprika, and some onion powder. That God-forsaken onion powder. Ay, ay, ay. So now I just flipped them over and I did the same exact seasons on the other side. Come on, friends. Y'all ain't new to this. Y'all true to this. Y'all know y'all flip them over and do the same exact seasons on the other side and get ready for that pan. But until then, commercial break. So Ice Accessories, my baby, is giving you guys 10% off because you are tuned in to Bake Your Food Done right now. And that's 10% off on all of our items. That's our tennis earrings, our double stone ring, our tennis ring, and our tennis bracelets. It's 10% off if you use code IMBABE10. And these are all those pieces with no glitz or glam. This is all just regular old ring light lighting. Thanks, guys. Get back to the video. So long story short, my mom was away with my sister at a cheer competition for my niece in Disney. So I went to my parents' house, cooked for my dad. I cooked chicken and shrimp Alfredo in this pot and had to still it. She ain't gonna know until she get back. Well, she ain't gonna know until she see this video when she get back. So yeah. Mom, this pot is everything. I think I need these because yes, I should have took the other one too for my rice, but I didn't. Anyway, I love this pot and here's why. I added in some olive oil, just enough to coat the pan, and added in my chicken thighs skin side down, and then just let them sear for about 5 minutes on one side and flip them. And look how golden and pretty these chickens are. They are perfect. We're not cooking them through now. We're just searing them. Even though that pan is super deep and super big, it wasn't enough for all my chickens, so I had to just do 2 different batches. So I removed all my chicken and put it on a plate to rest, and then added my veggies into the pot of oil, the same pot of oil that I used to sear the chicken in. I am going to all this around in that oil and get all that flavor up and combined, and I'm just going to get them translucent. After that, I added about a half a cup of tomato sauce, and then I added in my cilantro sofrito, and then that was about a tablespoon, and then another tablespoon of the tomato cooking base of sofrito. Yep. So we're going to get that well combined with our veggies, get everything well incorporated, and then we're going to go with our liquid. Her recipe calls for just water. However, I like to cook chicken stock as well. So I'm going to do half water and half chicken stock. I'm going to do a cup of water, and then I'm going to go in with a cup of chicken broth. Pour all that in and mix everything up. And then I'm going to go in with a full seasoned packet of the sazon. Next, I added in my parsley and mixed it up really, really well. And now I'm going to add in my chicken. I don't want my chicken fully submerged. However, I do want them like 80% submerged. So I did end up, after adding my chicken back in, I did end up adding in another half a cup of water and another half a cup of chicken broth. Also, after adding the chicken back to the pot, I put the juices that sat in that plate right in the pot with it. I need all of my flavor. Once all that is done, I am just going to cover it fully, and then I want to bring it to a boil. Once it comes to that boil, I'm going to recover it, but just slightly off to the side. And then for some odd reason, I twirl my chicken around a little bit, and then I like to baste it. After doing some basting, putting some juice back into the top of the chicken, I recover it how I did before, slightly off to the side, and I did it on low for about another half an hour. I want all those flavors and the juices to get well incorporated. Here I am after the half an hour passes, and I'm tasting it, and oddly I needed some salt, so I added some salt, recovered it, and let it do its thing for another about 5 to 10 minutes. I apologize for not getting this footage correctly, but here I am making yellow rice for the first time. This is also Tonya recipe, sorta. So I just salted some green peppers and onions and some olive oil. Then I added in some tomato sauce, some tomato sofrito, the cilantro sofrito, Stirred it all around, added in some water and brought it to a boil, and then I added in my washed clean rice. Then I covered it and let it simmer on low for about 15 minutes before checking it. I checked back on it and it was still a little watery. So then I recovered it and let it cook for another, say, 10 minutes. And then I got the perfect rice consistency. I've never made yellow rice yet. This was so bomb. Tonya, thank you again, because it is definitely not Spanish yellow rice that I've had multiple times, but it was definitely good. Definitely flavorful. Even though, ironically, I needed to add salt again. I don't know what's going on with my taste buds. Look at my rice. It's so pretty. It was so good. Yum. Time to assemble. We're just going to put some yellow rice down as a bed, of course. And then we're going to add in our chicken. Now, this was big plate, so I barely put any like juice or gravy in it. However, my plate was sopping in this gravy. I mean, the rice was swimming in the gravy sauce. I'm telling y'all. I love my stuff saucy and juicy. And yeah, just look how pretty the chicken was. It was so good. It was so flavorful. It was so tender. Bro, this is my version and it's bomb. Babe, your food done?